Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live?
From the original Walkons, Burbank and Nicholson, welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Max Gotro. Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Jimmy Ott not with us today in person, but he'll be with us via the phone line. Dwayne Colucci with us today. Patrick White with us today. Matt Humans with us today. We'll have a lot of different opinions on both the NFL divisional round of playoffs and the national championship game. But we got to get to a story that just came through about 30 minutes ago from WBRZ. Sources telling the WBRZ investigative unit that Colin Hurley, LSU freshman quarterback, was involved in a car wreck on campus about 2:45 a.m. this morning. Hurley's Dodge Charger crashed into a tree on South Quad Drive and Highland Road near the south gates of the LSU campus. Officials say Hurley was unresponsive but breathing. A crash report says firefighters pulled Hurley out of his vehicle. He was in and out of consciousness and had a large cut on his face. The cause of the crash has not been released, but officials say the impairment was not suspected. Hurley's a freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, just finished his freshman year. So a very serious situation there, obviously, and we're going to keep you up to date. But he was, again, in and out of consciousness and had a large cut on his face, but they were able to pull him out. So if we get anything else on that, obviously, pretty scary situation with Colin Hurley. Max, if I had any more, I'd give it to you. Honestly, this came through about 30 minutes ago, and so that's all I know. And if we get anything more, we'll give you. All right. How are you? Good morning.
Morning. How are you, Charlie?
It's a tough segue. It's a serious
okay.
It's a serious story,
old,
but
yeah.
I simply don't have any more than that to be able to tell you. So, good morning. You're gonna be with us for the first part of the show today before you're off to Cleveland. Are you off to Cleveland again today?
I wouldn't mind flying to Cleveland, even though it's got a mixed reviews. But from what I hear, it's a great city.
Cleveland can be a fun time. Okay, goofy as that sounds, I actually went. I spent a week in Cleveland one summer when I was younger. Why? Because if you go to first of all, go in the summer, don't go in the winter. Okay?
Yeah, not a good time of year right now.
The weather's lousy. Here's how in the hell do you have a good time in Cleveland? Okay, first of all, I went 20 years ago. The ballpark at that time was immaculate. Okay, it was Jacobs Field back then. The little retail area, and by retail I mean cocktail area around the stadium is pretty good. They got a really cool place called the Drunken Parrot right across from the outfield. So it's a lively atmosphere. I mean, every baseball game, okay, is a big deal. You know, there's performers out there, music, the whole deal. If you want to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you're a rock and roll fan at all, if you just like music, period, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is cool. You can have a great time at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We spent a day, and I could have spent 2. Okay, I spent more time in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame than one of the other reasons I went down. I went to Cleveland, which is Canton's about a 40-minute drive, 40-minute drive, and I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I spent more time in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame than I did in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The Football Hall of Fame, I'll be honest with you, wasn't everything I expected, but my expectations were so high that maybe it just wasn't. I still haven't been to Cooperstown. That's bucket list for me. But I've been to Canton, and it was. Look, it's one of those things that's kind of like the football mecca, right? Okay, so you can get what they call a hall pass, and you can get a little discount. You go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame one day, the Pro Football Hall of Fame the next day. It's an easy drive. And then if you're, as I was 20 years ago, but no longer am, into roller coasters, the absolute best roller coaster park in the nation, maybe in the world, is about 30, 40 miles on the other side of Cleveland in a town called Sandusky. And the park is called Cedar Point. And there's somewhere in the vicinity of 24 roller coasters. Okay. If you like roller coasters, I used to like roller coasters.
I'm going to have to pass on that
jacked up my back years ago. And so I'm not going to get on another one. But So if you want to spend 5 days in Cleveland, okay, and I had another ulterior motive for going. Buffett was playing, okay, so we went and saw Buffett in Cincinnati and then drove to Cleveland. But you can go to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the best roller coaster park in the country, and what is now a Guardians game, but back then was an Indians game. Wasn't a bad time, okay. Some unique stuff in Cleveland.
That's better than the Cleveland tourism video on YouTube. If you ever, I don't know if you've ever seen that, Charlie, but
is that the one where the slogan is "At least we're not Detroit"?
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
I've heard it. Moscona likes to play it for it. It's funny as hell.
Oh, it is. Great song, great YouTube. Look it up if you haven't already.
No, I get why Cleveland has that reputation. Okay, it's cold most of the time. It looks dreary. It's maybe the only place in America where the lake actually caught on fire.
Yes, that's part of it.
Yeah. I mean, if the lake catches on fire, there's not a whole lot of defending that. There's some cool stuff to do in Cleveland. Anyway, you work with the guys in Cleveland. So right now, are you like the how to put this? The most despondent pro football fan in America? You have to work with guys that cover the Saints and the Browns.
So that, and I also do some Jets and Giants post game. So that is also pretty bad.
You couldn't get work like in Kansas City or something. I mean,
yeah, that would be nice. At least I could, say I was involved, get some insight on some of the better teams. But no, I just know who the bad teams are and know to avoid them on Sundays. But
Jets, Giants, Saints, Browns.
It's quite a quadruple.
Did you lose a bet with God or something? I mean,
I don't know. It'll come around. The Saints have won a Super Bowl in my lifetime. They've been good through most of my lifetime, so I can't complain too much about the Saints. It's bad time. But.
I can complain about that press conference. I did it.
Yes, you did.
I did it earlier this week.
That's fair.
I wrote a column that is coming up on LouisianaSports.net that has my thoughts about the future of the franchise.
And we
found out
either
today or tomorrow.
Aaron Glenn prefers the Jets to the Saints, so I understand it, but that's been reported. And
you understand it? Explain it to me.
Well, if you don't mind the market, if you don't mind dealing with the market itself, I think the team is probably better. Maybe the ownership isn't, but the team is better.
So isn't that a bigger deal? Okay, if here's my deal. If the market bothers you, you're probably not cut out to be a head coach anyway. All right. If you are influenced by and I get the New York market, the media market there is exponentially bigger and tougher than it is most other places. I would say Philadelphia is smaller, but just as tough. Chicago is a little bit smaller, but just as tough. But if that stuff bothers you, if that stuff bothered you, it would bother me hiring you as a coach. You need to be able to block that out. The owner is a much bigger deal to me because you can't block out the owner. The guy comes in, anybody out there, you got a job, wherever it is you work, if you don't work for yourself, okay, maybe even if you do work for yourself, your boss comes in and tells you to do something and you're like, man, that's just wrong, okay? Not only do I not want to do that, that's not the right thing to do. What? You don't have a choice, right? The boss comes in and says, dude, it's their company. So when the boss comes in and tells you you have to play this quarterback, guess what? You have to play that quarterback. When your boss tells you, those guys in Washington who for years, spent weeks and weeks and weeks of film evaluation and, going to pro days and going to combine and looking at film and doing all of this stuff. And 15 minutes before the draft, here comes the owner, 3 cocktails in off of his boat saying, draft this guy. You got to draft that guy. So at least in New Orleans, you're not going to have that from ownership. Now, the general manager is a whole different kettle of fish. Is the Jets roster that much better than New Orleans?
To me, I mean,
I think it's better. I think it's better.
They don't have a quarterback right now.
That's a big problem.
You could argue the Saints maybe, how much do you like Derek Carr, I guess, but
I like Derek Carr better if he's on the field, okay? And Carr, up until this year, been pretty durable. He's getting older, but Derek Carr is a better option than Aaron Rodgers at quarterback right now. He just is, okay? 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr is better.
I will say at the end of the year, Rodgers didn't get enough credit. He was better at the end of the year. Now, I'm not saying, he's coming off a significant injury, and that's only going to get worse. He's only getting older, and he might be retired next year for all we know. But I don't think it was by the end of the year. We saw a little life out of Rodgers at least. But I agree.
Over the course of the year,
sure.
Okay, Carr is at this point in their respective careers, Derek Carr, perennial 500 quarterback is a better quarterback right this second than Aaron Rodgers, the first ballot Hall of
I'd agree
Famer
with you.
is. Okay. And even if that wasn't true, I would be stunned beyond belief if Rodgers was back in New York next year, which means you've got either Tyrod Taylor or whoever you can bring in. And Taylor is a very competent backup quarterback in the league, has been for a long time. But you do have Brees Hall. You do have a top flight receiving core, and you do have I think a pretty decent defensive front. Not as good as they think it is, but not bad. Sauce Gardner had a bad year, but he's still a young and dynamic cornerback. I mean, there are players there to work with, but I don't know that it's. I think it's a little bit better than New Orleans. I don't know it's a lot better than New Orleans, but Aaron Glenn's vote's the only one that counts.
Right.
So if Aaron Glenn prefers the Jets to the Saints, and look, it's not like I'm leading a charge for Aaron Glenn to be the head coach. My thoughts on him are I've said this 3 or 4 times. I think Aaron Glenn has paid his dues and has worked his way up the ladder and has done a really nice job in Detroit this year. No, not a nice job. He's done a great job considering all the injuries he's had. But if he comes to New Orleans, he will be, through no fault of his own, lumped in with Mickey Loomis. And right now, Loomis is the most unpopular guy in the room, and with good reason. So I don't know if the fans would give him – if Aaron Glenn were coming to New Orleans from Detroit and he had spent his time as an assistant coach in Denver or Seattle or Miami, anywhere but here, I think he'd come in with a clean slate. I don't know if he does because of his time with the franchise, and that's not fair to him. And maybe that's what he's thinking. He's like, man, look, I go down there. First of all, I got this salary cap situation. I got a bad quarterback situation. I got a bad roster. I got an old roster, and Mickey's going to do things the way he wants to do them.
We haven't seen McCarthy schedule an interview with the Saints yet, which he did interview with Chicago already. So we assume there was some interest, but
they sent a private plane, which I assumed for coaches of that stature was pretty common, but apparently it's not.
I mean, the coaching carousel, I thought it seemed a little bit more obvious, and then the Cowboys throw a wrench in everything. And I don't know how much the Cowboys are part of this carousel in terms of who goes where, but it's been muddied up a little bit. I thought it was a little bit more clear who Jacksonville might take. It seems like now they're somewhat interested in Robert Saleh, former Jets head coach. It seemed like Liam Cohen was the shoe-in in my mind from the
He interviewed
the Bucs.
yesterday, right? He finished up yesterday.
But, the odds are suggesting it's a little more open everywhere. So, there's a lot of – if you're trying to figure out who the Saints head coach is, we all understand that they're not the top head coaching search of this cycle. You have to kind of do the math on where everyone else goes, and it's a little bit complicated right now.
This is the one area that I pay no attention to the odds. Everything else that we do, I pay attention to the odds. But on this, I pay no attention to the odds because this is the situation where they are guessing the same way we are. And there's somebody somewhere who knows for sure, but that person ain't talking. If they are, then they don't get to be in the next coaching search. The odds, we've seen this done a bunch of times with both college and the NFL. You get odds that are put up. This guy's going to be the coach. They are so bad. Most of the stuff you can't bet on, by the way, unless you're in one of those offshore books. Like any of the books that we work with, can you actually? You
can bet at the Queen. You can bet on the Cowboys next head coach.
Okay, but not the Saints.
But not the Saints.
Oh, they're the Jets. Okay, so the Cowboys are a special situation. But most of the stuff you can't bet on, and the reason is that if the books actually let you bet on the odds that they put out, and it's not even the books; it's more offshore guys, right?
Yeah, there's some.
If they actually let you bet on this stuff, they are so far wrong with this stuff most of the time.
And I'll tell you, the Saints' favorite for these offshore books, as it is, has switched 3 times now. They don't about
know.
A week ago, it was Joe Brady, was about minus 200. Last I looked, Aaron Glenn was favored, and now we're seeing, perhaps with the news that Glenn might prefer Jets as a destination, Mike McCarthy's now favored at minus 250. But as Charlie mentioned, the odds are incredibly wrong on these sort of foreshadowing news markets that are out there.
I said on Tuesday, or was it Monday, that I thought Mike McCarthy would be eventually offered the Saints job. I still believe that. I didn't know then if he would take it. I still don't know if he'll take it. But I think that at some point, and it won't be publicized unless he takes it, probably, I think he'll be offered the job. I can make a case that Mike McCarthy's best case scenario for the Saints. It's something I do in my column, while acknowledging that it's going to excite very few people. If you dig into Mike McCarthy a little bit, you see that his record is almost identical to Sean Payton's. Almost identical. I mean, down to the game. And almost identical to Mike Tomlin, whose tone you notice was a lot different in his end of the season press conference than Mickey Loomis. Put them side by side. And if you didn't know what anybody's records were, the tone that Loomis had, which was, we're doing all the right things. We just had some bad luck, with injuries and stuff. And Tomlin, who has not had a losing season in his 18 years in the league, says, no, I'm not selling optimism. I don't think that's appropriate at this point. I want to be working right now. Well, if you didn't know the records, you'd suggest that they were flipped. But Tomlin's record, McCarthy's record, Payton's record, they're almost identical. Their career resumes. All of them have won a Super Bowl. All of them has been a long time ago. All of them have been, in the playoffs a lot. All of them have almost exactly the same winning percentage. My thing with McCarthy is Loomis might actually listen to him because nobody in that building is getting through to Loomis that something might be wrong.
Yeah, and I'll tell you.
And ownership's not going to push him.
Loomis said that the new head coach will have a big say on what the future at quarterback is. I want to know what Mike McCarthy's stance on Derek Carr is before I have an idea of whether I like Mike McCarthy as a head coach or not. Because that is the future. I want to know what his stance on that is.
I'd like to know that, but more important to me, I would like to know what McCarthy's stance is on scouting and the draft and free agency and the cap. Because for all I know, he agrees with Loomis on all this stuff. I doubt it, but he could. I want to know, is there any coach out there, McCarthy or otherwise, who can get in there and say, you guys are doing it this way? This ain't going to work.
And you mentioned scouting. Yesterday, Sean Payton in his post-season press conference talked so much about how healthy they've been as a team, first and second in terms of fewest injuries. And he said, and maybe this was a shot, maybe it wasn't, it's just coincidence, but he said, if you're at the bottom of the league, you deserve to be there. You've earned that in terms of injuries. If you're getting injured all the time, you've earned that pedigree, that reputation. And right now for New Orleans, it kind of seems like that's fitting for both franchises in New Orleans.
Yeah, I did see that quote. And, and sometimes injuries are bad luck. I give him a pass on Ryan Ramczyk. Okay, he's a 29-year-old all-pro tackle who had his career come to an end. But the sheer volume of what, they've had in that building, Saints and Pelicans, suggests it's a little bit more than bad luck. We're here at the original Walk-Ons, the one that started it all right here, corner of Burbank and Nicholson. Obviously a great place to watch a game with too many TVs to count. Great place to have a cocktail, about 3 or 4 dozen draft beer taps here. Come in, you get a burger, you get some seafood. Look, we are less than a month away from LSU baseball. This is a terrific place before and after. If you're on your way over to the box, we still got tons of LSU basketball and women's basketball, softball. So this is your meeting place before, during, and after all those LSU games. The original Walk-Ons, Burbank and Nicholson. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Thibodaux store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. If your New Year's resolution is to make some physical changes on your property, make some repairs, let them help you out at the Thibodaux store, because some of these things you can do yourself with a little bit of guidance from the pros at the Thibodaux store, and maybe you can save some money by not having to hire a contractor to make these repairs. All of the supplies that you need are there, whether it be lumber that they get out of their sister property at the Pierreport store, power tools and hand tools, plumbing and electrical supplies, all of these things available for you. And then you can ask questions. Hey, how do I go about doing this? Save time and money. Laying some concrete, doing some painting. Thibodaux store can help you out. Plus, custom-made cypress furniture, crawfish and jambalaya pots. We're almost into that season. Pick them up at the Thibodaux store. And you can shop online at thibodauxstore.com with free delivery. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux. Thibodaux store.
At Lofton, we're in the business of matching hard workers with some of the most sought-after employers in the Baton Rouge area. To Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to lofton.jobs. That's lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
Go local and go free with Go Free Checking from Neighbors Federal Credit Union. No monthly maintenance fees, no balance requirements, and no strings attached. Just the safety and security that comes with Baton Rouge's largest credit union. And with direct deposit set up through NFCU's Early Payday program, you can get access to your funds up to 3 days early. Come by one of our 11 area branches or apply online at neighborsfcu.org. Go free with Go Free Checking from Neighbors Federal Credit Union. Insured by NCUA.
River Parish Contractors, South Louisiana's superior local team, with a 32,000 square foot structural steel and fabrication shop. Come take a tour and experience their automated structural and pipe fabrication processes that provide time-efficient, precise, and economical products. When it's time to get building, get River Parish Contractors. To learn more, visit rpcontractors.com. That's rpcontractors.com.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to the Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
When your transformer is down, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a cost to your business. At Bayou Transformers, we understand the urgency and we are ready to assist. Whether it's maintenance, reconditioning, or even a full replacement, we'll get you back to full power swiftly and efficiently. With a 5-year warranty on all our rebuilt transformers and a rapid turnaround time, we are your solution for all your transformer needs. Visit BayouTransformers.com. That's BayouTransformers.com.
Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood? Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Well, I guess along with those sizzling steaks, we do have wood-fired oysters and scallops, beautiful sea bass, fresh Gulf fish and shrimp, and rich Ora King salmon. So yeah, Stabs Prime Steak and Seafood. Jefferson Highway across from Palermo Ristorante. Tell Leo that Kevin sent you. And don't forget, there ain't no cake in that crab cake. Come and see us.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow's Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Finding the right personnel for your organization can be a challenge. At Glow Resources, we take that job seriously, but not ourselves. We place the best people into the right job. Glow Resources, complete employee solutions. GlowResources.com.
Happy New Year from all of us at Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Start your new year out right. Visit TrashRangers.com and make the switch today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishRoof.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walkons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Crawfish season is upon us here at Walk-Ons, off-site or on the patio and in the courtyard. You can accommodate up to 1,000 people for your crawfish balls, but obviously smaller ones available too. 225-888-3566, 225-888-3566. Let them handle your crawfish ball. Let them take all the work out of it for you. Bring your gatherings in, your family reunions, before ball games. Crawfish balls. Let them take care of them for you here at Walk-Ons. Read me this thing you just found on online that came across. I had something else, but I want to talk about this. This is better.
Yeah, Horns 247, Chip Brown, insider. He's very well connected with Texas, so this comes from somewhere that is reputable.
Yeah.
He's reporting that Quinn Ewers turned down an $8 million NIL offer to transfer to another school. It's not stated which school that is.
Oregon.
But, probably, I think so. That was just with 1 year, final year of eligibility. So $8 million offer, stated that he was ready to move on and enter the draft, but also wanted to preserve his college football experience and leave with good standing as a Longhorn. And that was sources close to Ewers telling Horns 247.
To meet $8 million, you in last year's draft, you had to be in the top 51. So you had to be a little bit better than halfway the second round. Do you think that Quinn Ewers will be drafted in the top half? Well, these numbers go up a little bit. I'm using last year's numbers. Last year, to get over $8 million, you had to be the 51st pick in the draft. So let's just make this easy and say top 48, because that's a round and a half. Okay, is he going in the top round and a half in this draft?
I think he could go round 2. So he's on the fringe. I would say if you set the total, like the spread on 50 and a half as a pick,
we're going to get an over-under on him. He's a big enough.
I think the total will be later than that, just based on what other people are saying. I think he could go earlier than people expect, but I would say that he's on the outside of that sort of projection that you give.
I would think that Quinn Ewers is a third-round pick. Okay, he may be a fourth-round pick. He could be a second-round pick. Look, every year there's a team that takes a guy that everybody else has a much later grade on. Okay, it's not uncommon. I'm not even going to pick on the Saints here and Peyton Turner. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's not even all that outlandish that you go way ahead of where the rest of the league. It only takes one. That's the cliche. It only takes one team. But I would think that Quinn Ewers is over under when we get those things in April will probably be in the 70s, which puts you somewhere in that middle part, first to middle part of the third round, I would say. So my point is he's going to make less money in the NFL over the course of his contract, okay? 4-year value of a contract at 51 last year was $8 million. That's 4 years. This is 1 year. Okay, so I'm telling you that to tell you that he's betting on himself, and for him to average $8 million a year, he'd have to be almost at the top of the draft, which we know he's not going to be. To get $8 million over 4 years, you got to be in the top 6 in the draft. So he's got, if this report is true, this is Orange Bloods.
Horns 247.
All right. If this is true, then he will be sacrificed. He will be gambling on himself a tremendous amount.
The report also says that they spoke to 2 NFL scouts who expect Ewers to be selected anywhere from late in the first to early in the third.
Okay,
of the draft.
that's the range you're getting.
Yeah, I'm seeing some sites that have him 59th. Average of 43rd, so he's right in that realm actually of around that mark of where you'd make $8 million.
And how do we feel about an $8 million quarterback? Would that be tops per year? What we've seen so far? The rumors were that Cam Ward was $5 million last year at Miami. Some people say that that's BS, that he didn't make quite that much. We certainly know what Underwood's getting for 3 years.
Yes.
Okay, and then $8 million a year. Man, I think I'd go into Eugene. If I was him.
Look, it's worked out for a lot of teams, so I don't see the price going down anytime soon for these college quarterbacks. I mean, it didn't result in a title for Oregon or Miami. It might work out for Ohio State. I mean, we're seeing some of these transfer quarterbacks, albeit later in the season, maybe have some success. So I don't see the market going down anytime soon.
What if Jaden Daniels would have had another year?
How much would he have made?
Yeah. I mean, if he would, let's say he would have been, instead of his 5th year, it would have been his 2nd year that he put that season up. What would he have been worth? as a free agent? 10, 8. I mean, if they're going to give you
in the current market.
Yeah, in the
yes,
current. That was 2 years ago. A lot has happened in the last 2 years.
It might have been, closer to 5.
A lot has happened in the last 2 years. I think Ewers is going to cost himself. I would.
You're taking over 51.5. Right
yeah, and look again. That's 4 years. If you get drafted at 51, your contract is worth $8 million for 4 years, not 1 year. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. He could go ahead of 51. Okay, I wouldn't bet my life on the fact that he won't go ahead of 51. I'd bet my life that he ain't going in the top 6, which is what you need to average $8 million a year based on. This is actually I got some updated numbers here. That is for this year. Okay, so to get $8 million a year for this year, he got to be in the top 6. He guaranteed, absolutely, positively, he ain't going in the top 6. I'm very confident.
I'm with you on that one.
Of that. We're brought to you by Total Maintenance, AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing. Total Maintenance, your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs since 1980. Their slogan has been service today, every day, so you're not going to sleep uncomfortable. Full service staff in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans. They are an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daykin, and Rheem AC units, Generac, and Cummings generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, it's 480-1000, 480-1000 in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. We'll take a break. Going out to Las Vegas, Colucci with us when we return. Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
United Community Bank, the local way to bank big with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years, including their newest branch at Burbank and Bluebonnet. Our great team at United Community Bank, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Prentice Wilkes, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, and David Henry. You know, running a business can be difficult enough. Without the right relationship with your bank, with United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Tiger fans, listen up, because there's a new way to snack on the Bayou. Introducing the all-new, officially licensed LSU Snacks. Experience the flavor of victory with the LSU Win Bar, inspired by the iconic stadium bar itself. Toasted oats, roasted almonds, and 100% real chocolate, packed with 6 grams of protein. Or grab Win Bites gluten-free, crispy chocolate chip mini cookies. Every purchase of LSU Snacks directly supports LSU athletics. Order now at lsusnacks.com.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
It's a new year. Aren't you ready to finally get the IRS off your back? Hi, I'm attorney Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've helped so many people figure out their IRS issues, and they always tell us they wish they'd called us sooner. Friends, the IRS isn't going away. Matter of fact, they're ramping up their efforts. So now's the time to call the Bryson Law Firm and let us get between you and the IRS and make your life better. If you have wage levies, bank levies, tax liens, or unpaid taxes, call the Bryson Law Firm and let us get out in front of the IRS and devise your best resolution plan. IRS problems are legal problems. So call the Bryson Law Firm. We're local. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. Results may vary. LSBA filing number LA2316155.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
A crisis can happen when you least expect it. Whether it's financial, emotional, or personal, A crisis can be any situation that overwhelms your ability to cope. At the Bridge Center for Hope, we provide immediate mental health and substance use stabilization support 24 hours, 7 days a week. We are here to help you navigate through life's toughest moments. Because when life gets hard, you don't have to face it alone. The Bridge Center for Hope. Always open, always here.
Start the new year at the Louisiana Marathon, the running festival with a race for everyone, Saturday, January 18th in downtown Baton Rouge. Run, jog, or walk the Window World Louisiana Marathon 5K or quarter marathon and sign your kids up for the Louisiana Blue Kids Marathon. Runners take over the streets for the half marathon and full marathon. And there's the unforgettable Visit Baton Rouge Finish Fest with authentic Louisiana cuisine and Grammy Award winners Lost Bayou Ramblers. Register at thelouisianamarathon.com.
Great. Your windshield cracked. Now what? Call Advanced Windshield. You have things to do. That's why they come to you. Advanced Windshield is the leading mobile, auto glass, and camera calibration provider in our area. Call 225-248-6788 or visit advancedwindshield.com.
This new year, we resolve to get you the roll-off dumpster you need for your project. Start your new year outright. Visit trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here at the original Walkons, Burbank and Nicholson. We bring in Colucci. How you doing this morning? Good morning.
Charles, what's going on, my buddy?
Man, we're ready for the divisional round of the playoffs and the national championship game on Monday night. But before we get to that, man, the wild card round, 5 of the home teams won. 4 of the favorites covered. 5 of the games went under. How'd you guys make out on wild card weekend?
Hey, we didn't do too bad, Charlie. I can't complain. You know, it was great. You know, we had several games with two-way action, and we did have the Commanders who helped out. And, you know, definitely Houston was a focal game for us. We made some good scratch on that game, but the books are not complaining here in Las Vegas. Definitely a profitable weekend, and the handle was just amazing. You know, it's such an exceptional handle and marketability when you have such popular teams. You know, when you have Buffalo out there, you have a team like Minnesota, even though they lost, they had 14 wins. You know, you got the Eagles playing. It's just phenomenal football. That Eagle-Green Bay matchup, you know, was very exciting. And most of these games were, you know, how I anticipated would turn out. Public didn't anticipate the games as well, but that happens sometimes.
What was the support on the Commanders, the one road team that won? Because we cited this stat a whole bunch about rookie quarterbacks on the road in the playoffs, but Jaden Daniels bucked that trend. I know it was good for the books. How much was there much public support on Washington Sunday night?
Very little, I'll be honest with you. You know, that wasn't the game that we really had massive handle on, but it was good handle. Most of the people were backing Baker Mayfield. I think, you know, everybody was buying into those trends about the rookie quarterbacks, especially on the road. But, you know, case in point, you saw earlier in the season, I should say a few weeks back, where Mayfield couldn't beat Dallas in a situation where they needed the victory. And I was making comparisons to where the Commanders are a far superior team to my Cowboys. So you knew that Mayfield was going to have his hands full, and you always have the possibility of him making a mistake, which he did, and that ended up playing right into the Commanders' favor. Plus, you have a very hungry rookie quarterback. You have an offense, Charlie, that could control the clock, and that definitely helped the Commanders' chances in that game. The weather didn't hurt them at all, and this has been a team that has, you know, found a way to win all year. They have the best rookie in the NFL playing for them, and it's going to be a lot more difficult this week. Don't kid yourself. But talking about that game against Tampa, I felt they had an excellent chance, yet the public was definitely steaming the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, they just felt that Mayfield was going to put up a lot of points with Evans and those guys, and it just didn't happen. The game remained close, and once again, Washington did not punt the football, which is a key stat. They have done that several times this year where they play ball control. Jaden Daniels is a master at it, and the kid is a rookie. Listen to us. Just a phenomenal talent. And now you're looking at getting 9 points against the Detroit Lions. totally different animal here, though. Goff is a monster. You have Amon-St. Brown. You have definitely Montgomery coming back. The whole key is you have to keep that Detroit Lions defense on the field because they've given up a lot of points this year, and that's why you're seeing a 55-point total in this monster matchup. But Detroit's 15-2. They got the job done against Minnesota, just destroyed them for the number 1 seed. Rested now for a week. Let's see if Dan can get them in ultimate shape. They should be okay. They're starting to get healthier and healthier. Weather won't play a factor because this is an indoor venue, but, you definitely have to keep Jaden Daniels off the field. And, on the other hand, the Commanders want to keep that Lion defense on the field. That's the whole key of this game.
Let me guess, you guys are still taking over action even at that inflated number.
Oh, yeah, of course. But, it did actually, it did come down a slight tick. I think we opened it at 56, which we did, Charlie. So it's down to 55. You're going to get the Lion parlays with the over, and we're seeing already the 2-to-1 ticket count on the Lions. And definitely you're going to see that total teased down. So, the over becomes even more nammering on a 49 as opposed to a 55 if you tease it down with the 6 points. So, there's still a lot of betting selections left, and teasers will be very prominent in this divisional round, especially with the favorites, Lions and Chiefs, and the total of your choice, whether you think it's going to be low-scoring affair in that brutal cold in Kansas City or a high-scoring affair between Detroit and the Commanders.
All right, so the Chiefs is the other game, Chiefs-Texans on Saturday. And we know about the Chiefs. They win almost all the time. They cover less frequently, although they came into the end of the season, the last 3 games that they played that they were trying, throw the game with the Broncos out. They actually covered in the last 3 after they had gone 7 weeks in a row without covering. So this number's over a touchdown. What do you think, Texans and Chiefs? What are you seeing?
Well, another game where we're seeing a 2-to-1 ticket count, on the Chiefs naturally. Houston, they got the job done last week. Don't get me wrong. They played a great, great game of football, but this is a totally different scenario now. Kansas City Chiefs, an outdoor cold weather team, rested, starting to get a little more healthy, but we have to watch the health of those offensive weapons and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is definitely much more versatile and I believe elusive than CJ. He ran the ball pretty well last week, but the whole season it seemed like he had half the season. He would stand in the pocket too long. You don't want to do that against this Kansas City team. But like you did say, Charlie, 3 out of the last 4 were covers for the Chiefs after having that terrible, terrible spread record leading into the playoff drive and late season. But, they rested all their players last week. They didn't show you anything. And that's always how Andy Reid is. You got the best quarterback in the game that's leading this offense. You also have so many different weapons, whether it's, D-Hop, whether it's Kelsey, multiple tight ends that could definitely, you could use Kelsey as the decoy and go to the other tight end. So Chiefs are so well coached. They lay down, don't even buy into that Denver game. Even though there's a big inactivity period here for the starters on the Chiefs, what better team to have that inactivity period than the world champions? They've been to several Super Bowls. They know how to take care of themselves. It's hard to bet on Houston without Dell and without Diggs, going into this cold weather scenario. But that Houston Texan defense did look good last week. Could keep it within a touchdown because Kansas City hasn't been a covering machine. And you don't know how much explosiveness is going to be, exploited in this divisional round, knowing that you have to play the Ravens or the Bills in the next round. That's what everybody's looking forward to. Basically, that could be, a handle where, it just exceeds anything we've seen in a championship game ever.
So who do you think they're going to play? Because that's the game everybody is waiting on. The premier game of the weekend is last, Ravens and Bills from Buffalo. And we've seen some line movement with this, Dwayne.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 5th on this one. We switched favorites here. Buffalo was one. Now Lamar is one. We opened that game, with Buffalo as the favorite, definitely with that home field, actually 1.5. And now the Ravens are -1. So switching up on favorites here, definitely a difficult game to handicap. We're seeing teasers and parlays on both sides. The ticket count is really tight as well as the money in this game. This is Lamar Jackson's true test. We know that, Allen is definitely capable, and especially at home, Can he win in that Buffalo scenario? That's one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. You know the weather's going to be cold. Coach Harbaugh is going to be pulling all the strings with Henry and all those guys. Got to watch the health of Flowers, though. Very, very important for Baltimore. If you could get him in there, that's just another weapon that could complement Bateman and their great tight end game. Definitely the Ravens want to play ball control in this game. And Buffalo has given up some massive point totals against some high-powered offenses this year. So keep that in mind. This is why we're seeing that total at 51. I mean, it's a huge, huge total for a game with these two teams. And this is going to be a very, very tough handicapable game. We're getting teasers and parlays, like I said, on both sides. I'm going to plead the fifth in this game. I think Allen really excels in that cold weather, but Lamar is hungry now as well as this Ravens team.
Yeah, I'm bullish on Baltimore, and I realize that this is going to be a referendum on Lamar Jackson. He's done everything you can do in the regular season. This is the kind, and look, they beat a not so good Pittsburgh team last week. This is the kind of game Lamar Jackson needs to win, and I hate that. It would. I don't want to say erase what he done in the regular season, but he's had MVP seasons in the regular season before. He may very well have another one here, but until he does it in a big-time playoff game, he's never going to get that type of credit. This is that game. You go to Buffalo and you beat that team the way they're playing, and well, everybody's going to stand up and take notice. I think the Ravens win on the road on Sunday, but we'll see. Who's going to coach your Cowboys? I'm asking for a friend because, there's another coaching search going on down the street here in New Orleans. So you tell me, who's going to coach your Cowboys, because that kind of upset the apple cart earlier in the week.
Yeah, definitely. I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. The Saints may be talking to our ex-coach. That's a possibility. I did hear that McCarthy is going there for an interview. But, perfect scenario, I'll be honest with you, Charlie, in my opinion, would be for Dion to take the interview, possibly turn Jerry down, and Jerry definitely to get the frustration that he normally gets if that situation happens, and signs John Gruden.
John Gruden.
I don't know if Dion is the perfect fit. Well, he's definitely, they said that there's unfinished business here in Las Vegas. So I know Mr. Davis might be entertaining bringing him back, but Dion did show interest in Las Vegas. Then all of a sudden, Jerry, Jerry's world, he had to start, the Dion, rumors and stuff like that. But in a perfect world, that would be my scenario, would be if Dallas could get the more seasoned veteran coach. And who knows, it's such an interesting game, the NFL, and it's an interesting business. There's so many head coaching, positions that are available now. Like you said, you have the New Orleans position. You don't know exactly what the Jets are going to do. It's so interesting.
John Gruden.
I don't know.
John Gruden. Yeah, they're still on television. All right, that would be good television. I don't know if they'd win. It'd be really good television for Jerry. All right, we got about a minute, Kalucha. Fire me off some NHL picks for tonight.
Yeah, definitely, Charlie. We have we were 1-2, I believe, last week. Wasn't that great? This is a very, very tough card. You're seeing some big favorites out there. The Nashville Predators, 255. Dallas Stars are way too inflated against the Montreal Canadiens, seeing a minus 210. And, it was a great game last week, the Canadiens and Dallas at the Bell Center, I should say, in Montreal. I think Montreal is going to be very geared up. They're playing at a high level. I believe they won 8 out of their last 10. Still riding high. They're in a playoff drive. Turned the season around, 21-18-2. Let's take a plus to the Montreal Canadiens tonight in Dallas. This is definitely going to be a solid matchup, much closer than what this money line is stating. Minus 210 at the Rampart and South Point on the Stars. So definitely you shop around, you're going to get some plus 180, on the Montreal Canadiens, and I like that a lot. I like the Avalanche tonight. Colorado, minus 115 at home. Edmonton, they exploited Minnesota last night, but I'm still not sold. Edmonton, they're a great regular season team. Colorado was very banged up, made a goalie switch. Colorado could be the best team in the Western Conference, despite Edmonton and the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings doing nothing wrong. They just have to gel together. They have to get all that going. And Colorado definitely tonight, minus 115 at home is a play, in my opinion. Oilers have a very good record on a back-to-back, but still coming into Colorado is a much tougher scenario than they faced most of the season. I'm taking a shot tonight with Colorado. Slight favorite there. You may even see a plus if you wait on this game because Edmonton is such a popular team, Charlie, in the market, and keep that in mind. So we have two picks tonight, going with the Avalanche and the Montreal Canadiens.
You're the best, Kaloch. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you before the championship games next week. Thanks a lot.
Sounds great, Charlie. Love you guys. Love everybody in Baton Rouge, and stay safe. And say hi to Jimmy out there.
I will. I appreciate it. We'll take a break here live at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title, 296-0060 for all of you real estate closings. Ashley Dono, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, our great staff at Legacy Title. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 113 through 124. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store Lowes.com for more details and qualifying items.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Darren James and Associates, powered by LPT Realty, commit to excellent service unlike any other. Darren and his team save buyers as much money as possible. If you're ready to buy or sell your home, call Darren James or visit agent225.com.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, downtown facing Town Square. At Jolie Pearl, we're pretty shucking good. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
This is Robbie Bolton, owner of Evolve Physical Therapy and Sports. Now that training for spring sports is upon us and throwing programs are ramping up, come into Evolve PT and Sports for your shoulder and scapular assessment. Lots of components are at work to provide that pain-free throwing motion. How is your trunk and hip mobility? Is your scapular and rotator cuff muscles working together? Any anatomical variations that predispose you to injury? Prevent these types of issues in the off-season with a functional movement assessment and isokinetic test to see where your arm health is for the upcoming season.
Visit evolvept.com.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
This is Charles Henniger for Supreme Rice. I sort of feel like a member of the Supreme Rice family because they're from Southwest Louisiana, just like me. So when you're enjoying Supreme Rice, the perfect complement for all your red and white beans, stews, gumbos, and etouffees, know that you're also supporting our Louisiana farmers and stretching your food dollar at the same time. Supreme Rice, for the last 80 years, has been delighting their customers. So pick up Supreme Rice the next time you shop. For more information and unique recipes, learn more at supremerice.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Again, to recap for those of you that are joining us, WBRZ reporting that Colin Hurley was involved in a one-car accident at 2:45 this morning on South Quad Drive and Highland Road. The cause of the crash has not been released, but officials said impairment was not suspected. He was out of consciousness, was cut on his face, and firefighters pulled Hurley out of his vehicle. That is what we have right now. And if we get any further information on that, we will update you towards the end of today's show. Come back with Matt Humans in Las Vegas from the original Walk-Ons live at lunch, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 113 through 124. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. While supplies last. See store at Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Drive a European vehicle? Check out VexEuropean.com. This year, Vinny and his team are celebrating 10 years in business. That's a full decade worth of pairing you with a master-level technician for your make of vehicle. Again, that's V as in Vinny, VexEuropean.com.
The action is heating up this playoff season at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Lock in your touchdown picks, check out trending parlays, and increase your winnings with profit boosts. New customers can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. And unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code RADIO to get started today. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. In partnership with Ladarius Lake Charles. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Winter is coming, Baton Rouge. Stay warm and cozy with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system from Capital City Comfort. This November, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units. Visit CapitalCityComfortVR.com today. Your comfort is our priority. Rouse's Markets has been baking Mardi Gras king cakes for 65 years. Their king cake crew bakes more than 600,000 king cakes during carnival season. You can smell that gourmet cinnamon dough throughout the store. Rouse's makes traditional king cakes and filled king cakes and new specialty king cake flavors every year. Send someone a taste of Mardi Gras. Rouse's ships their award-winning king cakes anywhere in the continental U.S. Order at Rouses.com, official supermarket of the Saints.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Let's face it, life throws you curveballs. At Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, we help you stand tall. Whether you're facing ED or battling low T, we've got the solutions to help you regain the oomph you need. Goodwood is your partner in men's sexual wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville.
Yes.
Okay.
2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we come back here at the original Walk-Ons Burbank and Nicholson crawfish season upon us. Let them do the crawfish for you here at Walk-Ons, either on the patio in their courtyard or off-site. They can accommodate up to 1,000 people. Let them take all of the work out of it for you so you can enjoy your get-together with family and friends. Call 225-888-3566. Ask for Dustin, 225-888-3566. Ball crawfish here at Walk-Ons. Bring in Matt Humans from Las Vegas as we get ready for the divisional round. Matt, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. You know, one thing I was thinking about last night, so many people complained about the college football playoffs in the first round and how there were no great games and blowouts. And we said, you know what, the NFL playoffs is like that a lot in the first round. So get this handy. You go back to the first round of the playoffs last weekend, the average margin of victory, 15.2 points, with 5 of the 6 games decided by 12 points or more, right?
Yeah. So the committee do a bad job in the NFL, or what? Is that what we're saying? So. Yeah. They should have put somebody else. They should have put the Bengals in instead of the Broncos, or the Packers. I don't know. Are we guaranteed good? I made this. I made this analogy last week. I forgot what we were talking about. I said, how many Super Bowls have we watched that were just plain lousy? Okay, I mean, we a team that won multiple playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, got to the big game, and was just non-competitive. A lot of them, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we've had more bad Super Bowls than good ones, at least in my lifetime.
And that was especially true up until, I would say, the last 10 years.
Yeah,
we've actually had a recent good run of some close Super Bowls and some great Super Bowls, I'll say, in the last 10 years. But prior to that, we had a bunch of blowouts and lopsided games. You're right. A lot of times it was a Super Bowl, right, when you get to the Super Bowl. So I think we've been kind of spoiled, actually, in recent years, how great some of the Super Bowl games have been, I would say, in the last 10 years. But, yeah, just because you get to the playoffs doesn't mean you're going to have instant classics. And you're going to have tight games. And I thought people's expectations – maybe the mainstream media, some of the fans and critics, expectations were too high for the first round of the college playoffs. Even some professional sports bettors I know were complaining about it. And I said, well, what do you expect? You got 4 solid home favorites on 4 of the strongest home fields in the nation. Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, and what was the 4th one? Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, and anyway.
Penn State against SMU. Penn State against SMU.
Yeah, Penn State was the other one. Yeah, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame. And you thought that one of the dogs is going to roll in there and win the game straight up. So, yeah, it's great that we had a 12-team college football playoff. I think it's a great thing for the sport, and it took too long to get there. But for people to think all of a sudden you're going to have a bunch of phenomenal games, it's just unrealistic. Now, obviously, we've had a few good games recently here with Arizona State, Texas. I thought the games last week were pretty good. I think the game Monday night's going to be really good too.
Well, and I'm looking forward to it. Here's what I think. I don't know if it maybe is right, wrong, whatever, but I think the average college football fan, not the dyed-in-the-wool, watches every game, like maybe we do, but watches a lot of college football, looked at this bracket and it was like Indiana, SMU, Boise State, Arizona State, where's Oklahoma? Where's Alabama? Where's Michigan? Where's LSU? Where's Florida? I think that's what they were waiting for. And when they, like I said, the casual fans who tend to be loudest at this time of year are like, where's my blue bloods? You know, why does Boise State get a bye? Why does Arizona State get a bye? Why is Ohio State playing when Boise State isn't? And there's some reasonable questions to be asked there, but I think it was the lack of the blue bloods that really got to everybody in that first round of the playoffs.
I think that's fair. That's probably an accurate statement and a fair one to make because, when you have a playoff without Alabama and LSU and Oklahoma and teams like that, it probably does lessen it a little bit. Probably would have had better if those teams were a little bit better and had made the playoffs. Probably would have had more competitive games in the first round. I mean, I didn't think SMU deserved to be in the 12-team bracket anyway. Look at SMU's resume, and you had guys on ESPN stumping for SMU. Who'd they beat? I don't know who they beat. Then they end up losing to Clemson, then a really weak ACC in the championship game. And Kirk Herbstreit, one of the biggest hypocrites in the sport, he's on ESPN saying after Indiana loses to Notre Dame, Indiana didn't deserve to be in the playoff. Well, Indiana's got a better resume than SMU, and I'm not sure Tennessee deserved to be in the playoff either. How about Tennessee's resume? Okay, had a home win over a mediocre Alabama team. You can punch holes in all these resumes. Speaking of Monday night, Annie, who did Indiana lose to? At Ohio State, at Notre Dame, and 2 true road games. And those teams happen to be playing for the national championships. That's the only 2 losses Indiana suffered. People saying Indiana didn't deserve to be in the playoff. Okay.
Put Michigan's jerseys on Indiana and give them the exact same resume, and nobody would have said a thing. I really believe that. Let me ask you this hypothetical before we get on to the picks. We were having this discussion in the office this week. If this would have been a 4-team playoff, okay, and you just say, well, you would have taken the top 4 teams in these rankings, and Notre Dame wouldn't have got there. I maintain that if this exact same season had happened and we'd be in the 4-team playoffs, and the top 4 teams would have been Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Georgia, that the committee would not have put 2 Big Ten and 2 SEC teams in a 4-team playoff, that they would have found room for Notre Dame over one of those teams. I got no way to prove it. That's just that if they were in that room with this exact same data, no way they put only 2 conferences in the playoff.
I would go with your Final Four. I think you're right. And again, in a normal year without an expanded playoff, Notre Dame does not even get in. I don't think.
Well, I see, and I think they did. I think that not that necessarily they deserved or didn't deserve, but
you think Notre Dame would have been in.
I do. Here's why. Okay, if they would have sat the top 4 teams, I think would have been the 2 SEC teams and the 2 Big Ten teams. Not Ohio State, Penn State, because Ohio State lost at the end, resume wise. But I think in that room they would have found a way to put Notre Dame in over one of those 4 teams. Not Oregon, because they were undefeated. Okay. Because they were not going to keep it Big Ten and SEC exclusive. That, like I said, I got no way to prove it. That's what I think would have happened. Yeah. We'll never know.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think Notre Dame was the number 8 seed, right?
Yeah, they were the 7th seed. Yeah, and I think they would have found a way to put them in.
7 or 8.
That's just where that's my conspiracy theory for the week. I'll put the tinfoil hat down.
What's strange about that? Yeah, I don't know exactly how the backroom politics would work on all that, but Notre Dame gets to keep all the playoff money, right? And the other conferences split all the money. And I think there'd be some people who don't want to give Notre Dame all that money.
There'd been a lot of them.
Notre Dame.
You're right. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't have. All right, Matt, let's move on to the divisional round this week. What's your favorites? Your favorite plays in the 4 games we got coming up?
Well, it's Monday night, Tuesday morning. The Circus Sportsbook was sitting at 8.5 on the Lions game. So the first bet I made, I said, I gotta play this because favorites of 7 points or more in this round of NFL playoffs have an incredible record going back years. I had to look it up. I researched it last night, and it's 90+% straight up. I played Chiefs -2, Lions -2.5 on a teaser. And you could still play that same teaser. I think you'd have to play a 6.5 pointer to knock the Lions down to 2.5. But I don't see as big a Jaden Daniels fan as I am. I cannot see Daniels and the Commanders rolling into Detroit and winning this game. It's a lot to ask of a rookie quarterback to win back-to-back road playoff games. And I don't think Daniels is going to do it this week. Just for one thing, the Washington defense has got some holes. Commanders are going to have to win a shootout in Detroit. And I thought the Lions defense looked a lot better week 18 with Alex Anzalone, the linebacker, back on the field. Detroit defense was much improved in that week 18 game against the Vikings. That Lions offense certainly capable of winning a shootout. And if you just look at history, young quarterbacks, young teams, a lot of times just have to pay their dues in the playoffs. You go back to C.J. Stroud and the Texans last year. They blow out the Browns in the first round, and they go on the road and get blown out themselves by the Ravens in the next round. And I could see that happening here, where right now it looks like betting public's really getting behind Jaden Daniels. A lot of people, a lot of media hype, and a lot of people who weren't on the bandwagon are now jumping on the bandwagon, and probably too late to the party, where I think back-to-back road games for a rookie quarterback, a little too much to ask. So I got the Lions winning that game. And again, I'm not that impressed with the Texans. I know their defensive line put a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert last week. That turned out to be the difference in the game after a really slow start. The Texans were scoreless halfway through the second quarter in that game last week. I think the layoff for the Chiefs, it's a long layoff, and that could be a negative. We're talking about starters who haven't played for almost a month. I think the layoff could be a bit of a negative, and the Chiefs get off to a slow start. And the Chiefs almost always play close games. So I'm not laying the points, but I like the Chiefs on the teaser. I don't think their quest for a three-peat. This team's been really focused on a three-peat. And Kansas City's the type of team that can flip a switch and take it to a different level in the playoffs. I do not see C.J. Stroud and the Texans team underachieve pretty much most of the season going to KC and winning that game. I think that's the teaser of the week right there. KC -2, Lions -2.5. I played the Rams +6. I don't love it, but I like it. I felt like the Rams are a dangerous team for the last couple months. And one thing is, a lot of people in the handicap, they look at season-long statistics. Look at the Rams' defensive statistics over just like the last 8 weeks. It's a young defense. It's really grown up and matured. And this Rams defense is much better than it was the first time the Eagles went to L.A. and won that game. Let's see, that was week 12. 37-20, the Eagles won out in L.A. Saquon Barkley, 255 yards rushing. He had 70 and 72-yard touchdown runs in that game. Well, I think this Rams defense playing on a much different level, higher level than it was at that point. If you take out week 18, when the Rams rested most of their starters, in the last 4 games, the Rams defense has allowed 9, 9, 9, and 6 points. And if you look at Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, something about that passing game that's not on the same page. I don't like necessarily the fact that it looks like wintry weather is going to be a factor in Philadelphia this weekend. It looks like snow, wind, bitter cold. That's not good for the Rams. I've got a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl future at 16-1 in my back pocket from before the season. So I got that going for me as a bit of an insurance policy. And if somebody wants to put the Eagles on a teaser, I'm not going to argue. But I think this is going to be a tight game. The Eagles are going to have to squeak out. And hopefully the weather's not too much of a negative factor for the Rams. But when you watch that game Monday night, I'll tell you what, I know the Rams blew out the Vikings, but their offense is not dynamic. 292 total yards. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp only combined for 6 catches. Rams can do a lot more offensively than they did Monday night. I think that's kind of a good thing, that they didn't show it all Monday night and they didn't explode, because there's potential for them to do something much bigger in this game against Philly. And going back to what I was talking about with the Eagles, against the Packers, I thought a pretty unimpressive offensive performance. 2 for 11 on third downs, 290 total yards. I know the Cowboys are hot on Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator and a head coach candidate. I don't think Kellen Moore has done a great job calling plays in this Philly offense. Saquon Barkley's covered up for a lot of flaws in the Philly offense. So Rams +6. And also, I just don't know what to do with the Ravens-Bills game right now. That's a decision I'm probably going to make on the weekend. It seems like 9 out of 10 people I talk to love the Ravens, and that's probably bad news for Baltimore. But I'm going to wait on that one because I don't have a strong opinion. Do you?
Yeah, it's I'm one of the 9. I've been bullish on Baltimore all year. I think that it's a smart team, it's a smart organization, and Derrick Henry's the difference. Lamar's been great in the regular season before. He hasn't been great in the playoffs all the time, although he was fine last week. I think this is his time. I think this is the time that they erase the playoff demons. And I watched that game. I know it was back in September, but I watched Baltimore physically bully the hell out of Buffalo, and then I watched them do the same thing last week to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'll be on Baltimore, and if Lamar spits a bit, I'll be the first one to say I was on the wrong side, but I'm on Baltimore here. I think the defense has been a whole lot better the last 6 weeks of the season.
Even if Lamar spits the bed, and I don't think he will. I think it's a field goal type of game. Either way, even the people who love the Ravens, I understand it because I'm leaning Ravens myself, but I hate it when 9 out of 10 people in an NFL game.
I believe me, we've all felt that pain. Before we let you go, Ohio State and Notre Dame, we're looking at 8 here now with the Buckeyes on Monday night.
I took 8.5 with Notre Dame. And you know what? Circa opened this number 10.5, and there was opportunity to grab 10 in Vegas, and I didn't do it, and I'm regretting that. But I still take 8.5. I think that's good enough. Notre Dame's got a way to drag teams into the mud and make them play their style. And Al Golden, defensive coordinator, does a hell of a job despite all the injuries Notre Dame's had. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, is doing a really good job with Riley Leonard. And I thought the Irish were much better with their vertical passing game last week against Penn State. And I like this Irish coaching staff. I think they find a way here to keep Notre Dame in this game. I'm not saying Notre Dame's going to win the game, but there are a lot of things in that Ohio State performance against Texas that you can punch holes in, including Chip Kelly's play calling again on the offensive side. And I know it's a 28-14 game when you look at the final score, but I had a lot bet on the Buckeyes handing last week, and I'm sweating bullets at the end of that game. They were lucky to survive, and again, lucky that Steve Sarkisian doesn't know how to call plays when he gets in the red zone 2 years in a row in the playoffs. You remember how he screwed up the game at the end against Washington last year, right?
Yeah,
a couple of really poor play calls. Yeah,
and the one this year, that second down call, that toss sweep, he gonna take that one to the grave. Yeah, he gonna take that one to the grave. Yeah. That was the worst one I thought of all of the ones. I thought that was the worst one. Matt, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you next week for the championship games. Matt Humans from VSiN out in Las Vegas. We'll take a break here at the original Walkons, Burbank and Nicholson. We're also brought to you by Home Bank, Louisiana, based since 1908. You can get fantastic returns right now on long and short-term CDs with low minimum balances available right now at Home Bank. Talk to one of the local bankers here in Baton Rouge and Corporate, Sherwood, Longform Village, or on Bluebonnet. Every Home Bank location also in New Orleans and Acadiana, North Shore, Natchez, and Houston. Visit home24bank.com for more information. Home Bank, member FDIC. Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Workbox Services can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x10, 8x8, 8x20, 8x40, not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padilla Workbox a call at 343-4886, workboxllc.com.
After performing 30,000 dental implant procedures, the doctors here at Fusion Implant Center have witnessed life-changing transformation of so many patients. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadban. Are you one of the 50 million people who are missing teeth and wearing dentures that just don't fit and are uncomfortable? Well, in just one day, you can have permanent teeth with a perfect smile.
The board-certified doctors here at the Fusion Implant Center guarantee your procedures to be done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively. We are the experts who teach these procedures all over the country.
This team of experts and our state-of-the-art operating rooms are conveniently located in one facility. This allows your treatment to be coordinated and can be started in as little as 10 to 14 days.
So don't go one more day feeling insecure or missing out on the ability to enjoy smiling and eating. Transform your smile in one day at the Fusion Implant Center. Call today or visit fusionimplantcenter.com.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs.
Jimmy right here?
Yeah.
Got you.
At forhers.com/start, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right, you'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/start to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/start. FORHERS.com/start.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Go local and go free with Go Free Checking from Neighbors Federal Credit Union. No monthly maintenance fees, no balance requirements, and no strings attached. Just the safety and security that comes with Baton Rouge's largest credit union. And with direct deposit set up through NFCU's Early Payday Program, you can get access to your funds up to 3 days early. Come by one of our 11 area branches or apply online at neighborsfcu.org. Go free with Go Free Checking from Neighbors Federal Credit Union. Insured by NCUA.
When your transformer is down, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a cost to your business. At Bayou Transformers, we understand the urgency and we are ready to assist. Whether it's maintenance, reconditioning, or even a full replacement, we'll get you back to full power swiftly and efficiently. With a 5-year warranty on all our rebuilt transformers and a rapid turnaround time, we are your solution for all your transformer needs. Visit BayouTransformers.com. That's BayouTransformers.com.
Hi, this is Gordy Rush, inviting you to elevate brand visibility and ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Introducing Guarantee Media Digital. Secure your free digital audit now at GuaranteeMedia.com.
If you live in Ascension or Livingston Parish, you need one of our red cans this new year. Just make the switch. It's a perfect New Year's resolution. Visit TrashRangers.com and make the switch today.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walkons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Crawfish season is here at Walk-Ons, both off-site and if you want to have your parties here on the patio in the courtyard, they can accommodate up to 1,000 guests. But, of course, if your party is smaller, they'll be able to take care of that for you here or where you are. Call 225-888-3566 and ask for Dustin, 225-888-3566 here. And let Walk-Ons do all the work for you. Let's bring in Jimmy Ott, who will be rejoining us here pretty soon. Jimmy, good to have you. How are you? Good afternoon.
Good, Charlie. Had about 20 college students at the house for a little cookout, and basically, I guess it was my introduction if I ever become a sports gambling professor. Class was in session last night, so they were all ears. It was pretty funny, but no, they. I'll be back for a football Sunday. So, and just to pass along, and I'll certainly talk to the Badawi family, but meeting his big brother in the fraternity, his other, one of his best friends from Idaho, and meeting, some of the people that, he hung out with. And there's a lot of good memories. A week from this Sunday, there will be a White Rose ceremony for I know that his brother Omar is coming up for Kareem in memory. So he just kind of a nice deal, to kind of meet, and I can share some of the memories that they're sharing with me with Kareem. So it's a productive stay.
I'm glad to hear about the. I'm glad to hear the healing process, Jimmy.
Yes,
That's very good. Very
yeah.
good to hear. Let's talk a little basketball from last night in the league. I missed my pick. I liked Oklahoma last night. They dug themselves way too big a hole by the time they started their comeback last night. Vandy and South Carolina, real good game in Nashville that Vandy got to put back pretty much at the buzzer to win that one. And Georgia hung with Tennessee for a half, and boy, I thought the Vols came out in the second half just mad as hell. Georgia couldn't get near the basket I don't think they had a basket for the first 6 minutes of the second half, and Tennessee opened up. But just another night in the SEC.
Yeah, let's start with Oklahoma, and that's a good win for them because these are two teams that are probably going to be bubble teams, in my opinion, from the SEC. Oklahoma, keep in mind, they stole that game. I think it was the Jordan Classic, maybe in Charlotte. But they hit the 4-point play, the LJ play.
Yeah.
If you remember, so they stole it, and that's their best win against Michigan, who's going to be a tournament team on a neutral site. So, you dig it. I mean, valiant comeback, but my goodness, when you fall down 21 with 60 minutes to go, you're going to have a rough time. The money line parlay with Vanderbilt, it's usually always one that's either going to get you or it's going to be that nail biter. That was it. So, hey, I'll take luck, so we're able to hit that one. But in Tennessee's, Georgia's a tournament team, and Georgia's really good. And give Mike White credit, man, figuring it out because, this is probably his most talented teams, and I'm talking about the ones he had at Florida as well. So, but Tennessee at home, they're brutal. They really are. So, not going to see things like we saw on Tuesday night in Tuscaloosa, and also what was the other road win in the conference that night?
Missouri at Florida. Missouri at Florida.
Yeah. We're not going to see Gainesville and Tuscaloosa often, so we never say never. But I thought a little bit more according to form. Interesting late last night to Purdue, down 8 at half. How about the crowd that they brought to Seattle? I mean, it was noticeable on the broadcast, and they showed them as well. But it's kind of an interesting thing. It's okay. That's something positive and fresh. How let's go to Seattle for a few days and go see our team while we're at it. That's fine, but we really do suffer for tonight's card, Charlie, because we don't have the Pac-12 team. I'm talking about the one, and it was always Thursday, Saturday games.
Yeah,
because it's everybody. You had your Southern California teams, your Northern California too. You two from Oregon, you two from Arizona, you two from Washington, and Colorado and Utah, and they would. We'd go play Oregon on Thursday, Oregon State on Saturday, and, UCLA on Thursday, USC on Saturday. And we don't have any of that tonight. I mean, it's a really, really light card. So, missed that. You know what? I was heard you and Matt talking about, I want to ask you and Max, including the postseason, who do you think has had the better? I understand that Lamar Jackson's got the MVP. Who do you think is the better quarterback between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen?
For this year or for the whole career?
No, career and playoffs included, and playoffs weighted a little bit more heavily. We can't disregard, the numbers. But do you understand what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
this guy might get his third, and Josh Allen none, and I think Allen's a little bit better. I don't know. So I was curious what y'all thought.
Going into, and Max had to duck out to go do his podcast, so he's not with us at this point. But I would tell you that coming into this year, I would say that Allen was a little bit better if you take the playoffs into consideration as well, just because there's been some failures. This year, I think that this was a straight coin flip for the MVP. I could make a strong case either way. Jackson, they won another playoff game last week against Pittsburgh. They were much the better there. So I think this game is kind of we're talking about Matt, the referendum on Lamar. This would be that one big playoff win, especially on the road, that his resume lacks. So I would say Allen with the edge coming into this particular season. Pretty coin flip. Yeah,
Allen.
A little bit.
Does it? And so people are still making bets on the MVP. Don't you think that affects? I mean, you know how those voters. I mean, they couldn't give it to Michael Jordan every year, Charlie,
right?
Because they didn't want to give it to Joker every year. Are they going to give the stronger player is going to be without one MVP, and the little bit weaker player is going to have three? That usually impact. I'm just looking for an angle on that. I think that usually impacts it. I'm not saying it's fair. I think it kind of works out, but. 30 years from now, when they look like we do, for stuff along that, well, he's got 3 MVPs, he's got none. Who do you think better? You understand?
Yeah. Okay. So I like that angle, and it's completely reasonable. And you make a good point about, when other guys in the NBA won it. Here's why I would not lay any money on Josh Allen for the MVP at this point. Lamar Jackson was the first team All-Pro quarterback. And if we're using that as a straw poll and some of those voters vote on both of these things, if we're using that as a guideline, I wouldn't bet against Jackson at this point. So
and this is probably his best season.
Yes. Oh, it is. Statistically, it is his best season, especially through the air.
Yeah.
Given that he was voted the first team all-pro quarterback, I wouldn't vote against that at this point, using that as a guide.
So with that being said, how did they have a worse record than the Bills too?
I can tell you that Buffalo, I don't think, lost a game that they were supposed to win all year.
Like the Raiders. They didn't have that Raiders game.
And the Browns game too. Baltimore, that's the one thing that scares me about Baltimore. And you know how much I like them. But they had 2 games that have absolutely no explanation as to why they lost. The Raiders at home and Cleveland on the road. They should win those games 11 out of 10 times, and they didn't. So that's the one thing and I don't think I don't remember Buffalo losing a game that they were supposed to win this year. Like clearly, so I don't mean it's like a 2-point favorite or something like that. I mean, clearly supposed to win. They lost to the Patriots at the end, but that game didn't count. So, that game didn't matter. So I don't think they lost a game that they were supposed to win. Their other 3 losses were Ravens, at Texans, and at the Rams. And both the Texans and the Ravens game and the Rams game were 5 points combined. So the only team that's really taken Buffalo to the woodshed the whole year was Baltimore, and it was way back in September. So that's why they didn't have those hiccups that Baltimore did.
Yeah, and Cincinnati could have beaten them twice. Talking about Baltimore.
Could have, yes, yeah. But both of those games could have easily gone in that direction. One more from last night, and then we'll let you go. The Iowa State. Speaking of things, we're bullish on.
I failed to mention.
Iowa State at home. Man, listen, they were in control of that game the whole way. It was like a 7 to 9 to 10 point margin most of the way. And then with about 2.5, 3 minutes to go, it's like, okay, well, if Kansas is going to, we're listening to broadcast. If Kansas is going to make a roll, they got to do it right here. And I think they finished the game on a 12-2 run, Iowa State, and makes this look like a complete blowout. I wouldn't say it was a complete blowout the way the score was, but boy, did Iowa State look like the better team in command. There's not a team in the country I would bet against Iowa State in Ames.
Charlie, they're usually really tough at home, last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And those are what's usually their team. It's, they've never made it to the Final Four.
Right.
I mean, they had that classic game in the regional final with Marcus Pfizer. I think it was against Mateen Cleaves' Michigan State team. And it was some sketchy officiating down the stretch. But now you got that venue, and you got one of their better teams they've had, a little continuity in the staff. Oh, man, they're going to be tough to beat at that place. And they got some really good Big 12 teams that are going to roll in there. But, no, I actually jumped on them late in Otterlock when it went down to 5, from 6.5 to 5. When I was on with you and Max yesterday, it was 6.5, went down to 5. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it. And I just think, Kansas Kansas is really good. They are really good. Self is one of the better bench coaches. I mean, the big guy. I mean, he's good and he's old. I mean, they got a really good roster. That's why they were preseason number one. But they that home court, man. We say it all the time. You know, look, when in doubt, you trying to make a pick or you want something, just take the home team.
Yeah,
just take the home team, because I don't think as much as it is on the power rating for the bookmakers, the odds makers, I still don't think it's enough. I think it's worth even a little bit more. And it's pretty much 5 points on those type of, quality, like an Auburn, where they're going to have the place packed, a Purdue, and right now, Iowa State, Lawrence, Kansas, of course, these type of places. It's a full 5 points. And sometimes I think that's a little short.
I think also, Jimmy, that this Iowa State team is good enough to beat really, really, really good teams outside of that building. They've beaten Kansas. They've beaten Baylor. They've beaten Marquette all at home. But remember, they took Auburn to the wire in Maui, and that was when Auburn was at full strength. This is a Final Four team to me.
That's when Iowa State had that lead, right?
Yeah. They ended up losing the game by 2. So they're good enough to make the final. That looks like a Final Four team to me, because I think they're even good outside of that. They're good enough outside of that building to beat anybody.
Yeah. Well, that's the key. So, and they'll have, man, that league is tough. I mean, the SEC's really good, but Big 12's got some really good teams as well.
All right, we'll check in with you tomorrow, Jimmy. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, keep my boy Mayo straight over there.
We are. Whole of Mayo's coming in tomorrow. I talked to him this morning.
I want to make sure he's dressed up. Now he's got his church clothes on.
We'll be on YouTube. We'll be on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch.
Tell Kenny White tonight we need one in women's basketball plays. He got us right a couple of nights ago with Baylor. So if this light car, we need one of those plays today.
He's coming up next. We'll do that. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it. We're here at the original Walk-Ons, brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff done a wonderful job for my family over the years. So if you got back pain, neck pain, muscle soreness, things that are keeping you from moving around, things that are keeping you from getting a good night's sleep, let them help you out. Let them ease your pain and suffering through the exercise and stretching programs that target those problem areas, all the way to dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, ultrasound therapy, or any of the techniques that they use to just get you feeling better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Kenny White, when we come back here, the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Lofton Staffing Services matches hard workers with the most sought-after employers. So Lofton, you're more than just another employee. We care about your interests, and we'll match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application. You can schedule an interview. You can even browse jobs, the comfort of your own home at lofton.jobs. Lofton also offers an unlimited $100 referral bonus. Lofton Staffing Services. We've been putting people to work since 1979. 924-0200 and lofton.jobs.
You know, Demco is more than just an electric company. We're your local member-owned co-op. Your neighbors, your family, and your friends. Whether it's helping you manage your account, offering energy-saving tips, or investing in the next generation through scholarships and youth programs, we're here for you every step of the way. Enriching communities, building careers, and supporting the lives of our members. Demco, powering life and community. That's the cooperative difference.
Electric Man of Baton Rouge is here to help with 24/7 residential and commercial electrical services. With years of experience, Electric Man aims to deliver fast and dedicated electrical services without compromising safety, quality, and integrity. Licensed and insured professionals to do the job for you worry-free. Electric Man offers guaranteed appointment times and free estimates, offering veteran and senior discounts also. Find Electric Man at electricmanbatonrouge.com to schedule your guaranteed appointment time. electricmanbatonrouge.com, 225-800-7065.
GMFS, changing lives. T. Brown here, CEO of GMFS Mortgage, which we started in Baton Rouge in 1999. Thanks to you, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping thousands of you get into your dream homes, 25 years of helping thousands of you refinance to the best rate possible, and 25 years of helping many of you consolidate debts. The last 25 years would not have been possible without you, our clients, and our over 200 employees who come together every day through our Baton Rouge area offices and headquarters to provide you with award-winning customer service. If you're in the market to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, do what thousands of Louisianans have done over the past 25 years. Go to gmfsmortgage.com to start the process now and give us a chance to personally say thank you.
GMFS, changing lives.
GMFS NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, LA 70806, subject to credit and property approval.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
When your HVAC system is in expert hands, your home's comfort is effortless. From fast repairs to seamless installations, Capital City Comfort is committed to delivering expert service you can feel all year long. Visit online at capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Here at the original Walk-Ons, where it's crawfish season, in the patio, in the courtyard on the patio, or off-site, up to 1,000 people can be accommodated with our friends here at Walk-Ons. Call 225-888-3566, and that's for Dustin as you get ready for crawfish. Let Walk-Ons do all the work for you crawfish balls. Let's bring in Kenny White now as we take a look at both the divisional playoffs, the national championship game, and maybe a women's basketball pick as per Jimmy's request. Kenny, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing well. I'm working on unrivaled women's basketball. Have you heard of the league?
I'm sorry, we lost you there for a second. You say you're working on women's basketball?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm working on unrivaled women's basketball league, the new 3-on-3 league with the WNBA players.
Really? Okay, that's
Caitlin
Clark.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I was just typing up a tweet on X, and I don't want to sound cocky, but I am interested to see if there's anyone that wants to bet me like head to head, because I know what's going to happen. The sports books are going to put these games up tomorrow, and they're going to take 200 on the side and 100 and probably not even make a total. I've already got sides and totals on every game, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another individual out there that wants to bet, and we can go head on head. I'll make a line, they can bet it, and then they make a line on the next game, and then I bet them, and we can do no juice. You think that's feasible? Do I sound like an idiot if I send a tweet out like that?
You sound too confident. You sound like you know what you're doing, man. I don't know anybody put that kind of time into it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find somebody else that maybe feels the same way, and go head to head with them.
I'll throw it out there. It ain't going to be me because my knowledge of the subject's pretty limited. Before we get off the women's basketball, Jimmy's out of market right now, but we were talking about how the realignment of the college conferences has made for some gaps in the college basketball men's schedule. There's not as many Big Ten games or Pac-12 games as we might have gotten on some of these Thursday nights. So if you got a women's game tonight that you really like, he would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it. And then we'll get to the football.
I do. I like Virginia. They're on the road tonight at Virginia Tech. We're getting 10.5 with the Hoos. So that is one of my better plays tonight. Obviously a rivalry game. I thought this number should be about 5.5 or 6 at the most. So I think we got really solid value with Virginia.
All right, Virginia, there it is. All right, let's get the divisional round. Any of the 4 games that stand out to you, sides or totals, and then we'll get to the national championship game.
Yeah, my numbers in the 4 NFL games, the sides are pretty tight. I'm looking at maybe playing a teaser with Kansas City and Detroit, but then I saw something today that, and I hate trends sometimes. I love trends to talk about them. I don't use trends to bet with because you can't make money just betting trends. You got to know the talent of the teams. But I did see there's a huge trend out there that teasing teams of 8.5 or more up when the opponent averages less than 24 points per game on the season has cashed like 89% of the time. And that would put Houston into that category, teasing them up to 14.5. But I think there's a better bet that Kansas City's defense is just too good. And you got Patrick Mahomes, the offense is going to come around. So I think they win the game, and I think Detroit wins their game. So that's going to be the common teaser. That's going to be the one the sports books need to knock down. But I still think there's a little bit of value there in that. As for totals, I like the Philadelphia Ram game under. The weather is going to be windy, cold, rainy, maybe some snow. That is a grass field. Both teams' defenses are awfully good. So I bet that under already. And the other total I bet was Detroit. I went over in that game. Washington plays fast. They can score, and Detroit can score. Detroit's median score on the year in their home games, 34 points per game. This is not a good defense they're facing. I think they could get more than that in this game. I think they'll get 38. Maybe they may get 40 in the early 40s, and we're going over 55. It seems crazy because it is a playoff game, but Detroit is the better team right now. I like the strides that Dan Quinn has taken with Washington. He's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. He's built them up. But this is tough, playing back-to-back road games, and now you're playing against a rested team and the best team in the NFC in Detroit. I think Detroit gets off early, and if you want to make an early bet, I like that first quarter over, and I like Detroit to cover in the first quarter.
All right, big numbers there in the Detroit-Washington game, and the national championship game, Kenny, Ohio State and Notre Dame. We're showing 8 and 45.5 right this second. The 6:30 game on Monday night.
I get square. I'm going to be square once again in this one. I like it over, and Andy, for years I used to say defense wins championships. And that's true, but I've realized over the time in my years in this and tracking football championships, when you're tracking the NFL and the Super Bowl, and you're tracking college football playoff championship and the CFL, I'll throw in there. It seems that defense gets you to the championship. And when you get there, both teams have pretty good defenses. But at that point, the team with the best offense usually wins the game. And those games usually go over, and more than they go under. So Ohio State's got the better football team. I had heard, I don't know how true it is, that they played very vanilla most of the season, if not all of the regular season. We saw what happened against Michigan. They did not want to throw the football. They did not want to let anyone know who Jeremiah Smith was. They just wanted to run, and they figured they could win games by running the ball and staying conservative. And I learned because once the college football playoffs happened, wow, they just put a hammer down on Tennessee.
Jordan, we're losing him. Jordan, tell you what, we got the pick. I'm gonna have to break here because we just got too bad a connection there. But I'm gonna give you the rest of Kenny's information when we come back here. We'll take our final break, wrap things up here at Walk-Ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Lofton Staffing Services matches hard workers with the most sought-after employers. So Lofton, you're more than just another employee.
Yes.
Get his information so I can give it out, where to get his picks and stuff from, and tell him the connection was too bad. I couldn't stay with it.
Okay, I'll text him.
Okay, thanks.
Gotcha.
Been putting people to work since 1979. 924-0200 and Lofton.jobs.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, the promo. You get it. You get his stuff.
I'm texting. Wait for him to text me back.
Okay. All right. This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Friday edition of Live at Lunch from Rufino's on Highland Road. Holomeo sitting in with us as we get ready for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs and a look ahead to the national championship game. Live at Lunch from Rufino's, 11 a.m. Friday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Okay, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Feeling off your game? Low T might be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has your back. Revitalize your energy and your mood. Let Goodwood help you get back to peak performance. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
If you liked Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar before, you will love the all-new updated Jolie Pearl in downtown Baton Rouge. Jolie Pearl is the place for the true oyster connoisseur, featuring a brand new extended menu. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar features oysters from all over the world, served up grilled, baked, and raw. Stop by for lunch, dinner, or before any event downtown or at the River Center. Jolie Pearl. Upscale oysters in a New Orleans-style atmosphere. North Boulevard in the heart of downtown, or online at joliepearloysterbar.com.
Do you have hot concrete around your pool? Harsh concrete that hurts to walk on? Or grease stains in your garage? We Do Concrete Coatings Louisiana can handle it all. We work with you to not only get what you need, but what you want. Locally owned and family operated with 10 years proven experience with construction and concrete coatings. From commercial to industrial, we do it all with the best warranty, ASTM proven products, and the best prices. Check us out at WeDoConcreteCoatingsLLC.com. We Do Concrete Coatings Louisiana.
Call my dad today. 225-400-3835.
Hey, Tiger fans, listen up, because there's a new way to snack on the Bayou. Introducing the all-new officially licensed LSU Snacks. Experience the flavor of victory with the LSU Win Bar, inspired by the iconic stadium bar itself. Toasted oats, roasted almonds, and 100% real chocolate, packed with 6 grams of protein. Or grab Win Bites gluten-free crisp.
I'm still waiting on him to text me back.
Okay. When he does, we'll put it out tomorrow. I mean, I didn't want to think I was just hanging up on him. He was.
Yeah, no, I told
that
him,
connection
like,
was bad. It was
bad,
it was bad. All right.
More than just another employee, we care about your interests, and we can help match you with a company that needs your skills. You can complete an application, schedule an interview, and even browse jobs by simply going to Lofton.jobs. That's Lofton.jobs. We also offer an unlimited $100 referral bonus. At Lofton, we put people to work. Lofton.jobs.
Darren James and Associates, powered by LPT Realty, commit to excellent service unlike any other. Darren and his team save buyers as much money as possible. If you're ready to buy or sell your home, call Darren James or visit agent225.com.
Happy New Year from all of us at Trash Rangers of Louisiana. Start your new year out right. Visit trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Relief Windows, locally owned and operated. Visit reliefwindows.com.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, we apologize if we lost our connection with Kenny White, but here were his picks. Virginia women's basketball tonight, plus 10.5. Chiefs and the Lions on a teaser on Saturday. On Sunday, Philadelphia and Los Angeles under the total. Lions and Washington over the total. And Ohio State and Notre Dame over the total on Monday night. Sports World mourning the loss of Bob Uecker. Mr. Baseball passed away today at the age of 90. There was not one single time I can ever remember listening to Bob Uecker or watching Bob Uecker that he did not make me laugh. He was fantastic in pretty much everything he did, whether he was doing television, The Tonight Show, whether he was doing movies. His role in Major League is one of those iconic, I don't know if you can call it a cameo because it was much more than a cameo. But what Uecker did in that movie was what I shouldn't speak for everybody that's ever done play-by-play in their life, but I've done enough of it to know that I think everybody that ever did play-by-play wanted to do just one game the way Uecker did the game in Major League. Can I just be candid for one time? Can I just be candid here for a minute and just say exactly what I think with no censorship? He was fantastic. And what was great about listening to Uecker was he wasn't just like a clown, okay? He knew the game, man. If you listen to him do Brewers games, man, he was phenomenal with the baseball stuff. And it'd be funny at the same time. Baseball's going to miss him. Bob Uecker passed away at the age of 90. Thanks to our friends here at Walk-Ons for being our host today. Crawfish season offsite on the patio in the courtyard. Up to 1,000 people. Call 225-888-3566. For Jordan back in the studio, for Max, for Jimmy, for all of us here at Walk-Ons, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 1.
All right, Hanny. See you tomorrow.
All right, Jordan. Thank you.
7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross 10 exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-7